Hello, my name is Misha. I am the COO of a company called Every Dog Has Its Daycare. We are in West Oakland, and I'm a very type A individual, so I was given a list of things to address, so I want to address the things that here. So one of the things that was requested was to talk about how we break down barriers to employment. So what I want to talk about is the process from up for parole and or having been paroled, and then what happens once you are in that place. And that's where Every Dog can come into play. When I hear the idea of barriers to entry for employment, and this actually applies to every single person. It's not just people that are coming out of prison, but Every Dog works with veterans, with seniors. We have a bunch of high school students. That's fun. We have every possible demographic represented that you can think of. And the barrier to employment to me means getting the chance to be interviewed. So it's the resume, it's the cover letter, it's the phone interview, it's all of that kind of stuff. And so what we do at Every Dog is, because we understand that those things are very daunting, and you are coming out of prison and you don't have a resume, perhaps, or everything on your resume says it was while I was incarcerated. To someone who gets that resume cold, I hate to say it, they're going to go, no, most likely. Well, so what we do is, if I get some sort of frame of reference, if we get the parole agents or the organizations that you're working with, if these people send your resume and cover letter, as limited as it may be, you get an automatic interview. I'm not going to base your interview possibilities based on what you write in a resume or your cover letter. All your cover letter has to say is, I love dogs. You have no idea. I send out, or I post job listings, and it says in the job posting, we love dogs. You must love dogs. If you don't love dogs, this job will suck. Don't apply if you don't love dogs. I get resumes and cover letters from college-educated people, and nowhere in their cover letter or their resume does it say, I love dogs. Delete. Nothing. If you don't love dogs, don't come to me. So what we do is we break down the barrier to, there you go, you can apply, I'll hire you. We break down one of those barriers to employment, which is, we will give you an automatic interview. I want to meet you as the person. I don't want to necessarily meet you that someone wrote the resume for you or guided you in that. The other thing is that during the interview, I don't care what you did yesterday. I don't care what you did last week. Because dogs don't care. They don't care. Seriously. They don't care what you had for breakfast. They don't know where you were living last year. They just want you to scratch their butt. Stress to you enough how much dogs live in the moment. So we're breaking down the barrier to employment by an automatic interview, and then also I want to find out who you are as a person right now in this moment. I had the opportunity through Diana to meet with some of the men at San Quentin, and I have to say, and I think I told this to Diana, that of their 35, 38 men that were in the program that I met, every single one of them was more articulate and more poised than virtually every single person that comes in through the open interview process when we just do a Craigslist posting. And one of the men contacted me just recently to say that his parole had been moved up. So instead of being in the 2020s, it's now this May. And so I've written a letter to the parole board, and I've offered him employment. I met him. He was incredibly lovely, and I will hire him upon release. So I will write those letters to the parole board. We strive to find opportunities for people that maybe haven't done particularly well in the mainstream industry. I particularly am not particularly fond of people. I'll say that flat out. I prefer dogs, always. And I've found that people that do very, very well with animals have not always done particularly well at Target, at Starbucks, whatever. So we want to give people opportunities to work with the dogs. We keep them away from the human clients. They're the worst. You just deal with the dogs. They're the best. If you will work, if you will be on time every single day, not just once, every single day, and if you will follow my directions to the letter, because I am not warm and fuzzy, if you will follow my directions, you will thrive at every dog. But you must love dogs.
My dogs don't
I know.
like my dogs don't like other dogs.
You can come today.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Good. My name is Derek Johnson. I own the Home and Chicken and Waffles restaurant in Jack London. I also have one in Walnut Creek and New in Davis City. Yeah. Let's see. I knew what I was going to talk about, but after hearing these stories, I'm going to change up a little bit. First of all, shout out to West Oakland. I'm born and raised in West Oakland.
Lower bottom down here.
They taking out my acorn, so
16th and Mandela Parkway.
But I just want to touch on a couple of things. I think the barriers to employment. I think I'm going to break it up because there's usually when we do these, there's usually people that are entering or want to enter the workforce. But we have parole agents, we have job reentry programs, we have people that are looking for jobs all in one room, which is good and unique. And it's come a really long way. I've been hiring parolees since my first business was 91. I didn't realize I was actually hiring them. I had a good friend, Kevin Grant, who works with the city, who hired a couple of guys through. I didn't really know that he was actually running a halfway house at the time. I used to own all the detail shops in City Center and Kaiser Center, and I had like 7 of them around the Bay Area. And one day we had a lot of call-ins, and I needed some guys to work. And he just said, one of the guys was like, well, I'll call the house and get some guys. I said, well, call the house, get them. I didn't know the house was a halfway house. I had a pool of employees and I didn't really care. So that's kind of like how it started. So it wasn't like it was the intent or did I set anything out, it just kind of happened. But over the years from doing it, from 91 to present, it was I continuously hire. Matter of fact, the manager at the Oakland location did 17 years, I believe, Larry. So I have a lot of my staff. It started out about 5 to 7%. Now it's more like about 75 or 80% on parole or probation. And they've all done very, very well.
I think that deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
I'm trying to start. So from the employment side, I think those that are looking for jobs, I think you should listen to, and I'm bad with names. I'm sorry, what's your name? Tito and Lamuro. I think you should really listen to what they have to say. Own your shit, because we as employers, it's not our shit. And we really don't want to deal with it. That's number one. Now we're a little different, because I am from West Oakland, so when you come in there with a lot of shit, you'll get a lot of shit. So my employment environment's probably definitely a little unique. And then don't come in thinking that you're going to be the management, or just because you see that the people there have walked the same walk that you have, but they've been there. I mean, Larry's been there for 5 years. Everybody started out as a busser, a dishwasher. It might not be the ultimate job that you want, but a lot of people that have started with me have gone on and got other jobs. And then a guy, Masao, who was a gangbanger, he's now a manager at Wells Fargo. So another manager at Marriott started with me right out of when he got out. So you have to start somewhere. That's number one. Number two, the parole agents in the room. I don't have this problem anymore, but I know a lot of employers used to have a really big problem with guys, their appointments, or getting called in, or the parole agent coming to the workforce. Yeah. I don't have that problem because we don't have that issue at our place, but I've heard that from other employers that have gotten involved with hiring. So I think that it should be some type of relationship or something worked out where you definitely look at the employee schedule, you know, and schedule your time with them around that, on their personal time, not on our time, because that can be a conflict, and hinder, you know, other employers getting involved with the same practices. And then the agencies that are given the jobs, there should be more, what we need is more support, more help with socialization skills. We've been in jail for 20, 25 years, coming back out to the real world, which congratulations to all of you. You know, the world has changed. It's not the same as it was 25 years ago. So, you know, to help with some continued support, but also get more employers involved. We kind of have a built-in support system because we have so many parole and probation employees, so they kind of support each other. But if you just put yourself in a state of mind that I'm the only one and everyone else, no one else has been in jail or know anything about that environment, I'm the only one in that environment, it's kind of isolated. So I think that some support there would be really helpful. Because an employer, that's not really their job. But other than that, we have job opens. Thanks for you for, you know, opening up your doors, and we hire.
We do.
Yeah.
So as your moderator, I'm just gonna jump right in. I feel like we're family now because we've all been vulnerable. We all know about each other and what we're dealing with. We've had an opportunity to hear from these wonderful panelists, and we're gonna hear more from them. But now I'd like to open it up so we can have dialogue. You've heard a lot of talking. I don't wanna jump in with a lot of questions, but I wanna get the conversation started. Because we're here to talk about workforce. How do we get lifers into quality jobs, right? So one of the things we can start to talk a little bit more about is what does that look like? We've heard some good examples of that,